Not so genius. Billionaire Elon Musk just announced that Neuralink, one of his many companies, far too many if you ask anybody with a brain, will be ready to start putting computer chips in human brains in 6 months. From someone who can't figure out a verification check system, this seems like a bad move, but you do you, boo. There's just one huge problem. When Neuralink tested this technology on a group of monkeys, 2/3 of the monkeys ended up dead as a direct result. So it seems perfect time for human trials. If that's the way he's gonna do it though, can we start with Musk? Can we start with his brain? Let's talk about Musk's disturbing plans in general for Neuralink. A brief summary of the technology. Neuralink is a device that would be embedded in humans' brains to monitor and potentially stimulate brain activity. The device consists of a microchip and wires that would be threaded through a patient's skull into the brain. And cool technology, I've seen it done years ago, not through his company, that can really help people, but not in the ramshackle, roughshod way Elon Musk does things. He likes to talk about medicinal uses for his tech that could be. Neuralink's brain-computer interface, or BCI, would allow people to control a computer or mobile device wirelessly just by thinking about it, according to the company's website. The technology is primarily focused on serving people with paralysis and other neurological disorders, although Neuralink eventually wants to roll out a product with non-medical applications. For medical reasons, I think it's a great promise once you get the science right. For non-medical reasons, it's insane and it's gonna ruin humanity, my opinion. What might those non-medical applications be? Musk has said humans are already cyborgs on account of their smartphones and computers. So Neuralink will further close that gap between human and machine in order to prepare us for the future. How about no thanks? Do we get a vote on that? Musk thinks adding a digital layer to the brain's limbic system and cortex may be humanity's only hope of matching the exponential and possibly sinister rise of artificial intelligence that Musk has forced upon us himself basically anyway, so thank you for that as well. According to him, humans may otherwise sink to the level of house cats. Our glorious evolution from humans to machines will be starting shortly, according to Musk. He intimated on Wednesday that human trials could begin in the next 6 months, pending approval from the US Food and Drug Administration for the device, roughly the size of a small stack of coins, roughly the size Sam Bankman-Fried has left, and would be implanted into the brain by a surgery-performing robot. Oh, not even a human's gonna do the surgery, that's nice. Musk even said he'd get one implanted in himself eventually.
Sure, yeah.
Eventually. Why don't we throw baseballs through the window of this plan? This guy is a menace. How many companies can he run and do poorly?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, we did a poll on tyt.com/polls. Elon Musk, yes or no? And you guys voted no, so you were ahead of the curve by about 3 to 1. But the reason we even had that poll is because we were having a conversation about, look, maybe the guy's brilliant in some ways, maybe not in other ways, etc. And the Tesla is at least is electric cars. That's a good thing, and renewable energy, etc. So if you go back even further, there was a debate like. So there's we thought there was 3 options. One is that, oh, the guy's brilliant, right? He does all these companies, they're incredibly successful, richest man in the world, blah, 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 right? The second option we realized is, oh no, he clearly does, like Twitter is a debacle, right? I mean, he overpaid by about $35 billion. That's, even if you thought buying Twitter made sense, at a bare minimum, he overpaid by $22 billion. So that it was a clownish move, and as you're seeing him run it, you're amazed at the bad decisions. So now there's another option, which is that maybe he's really smart in some things and a total idiot in others. But now that you see him struggle with, do I support this Hitler supporting Kanye, or do I ban him? And he goes back and forth on it a little bit. Now there's option number 3, which is, no, maybe he's just like Trump, overall idiot, but great at marketing. So like a carnival barker, right? And just at a more sophisticated level than Donald Trump when it comes to business world, right? And so, what you said, first of all, guys, now that I look back at his other predictions, he said, well, SpaceX is gonna take us to Mars. And I remember thinking, look, man, I'm not a tech guy, but I read a little bit about this. For us to be able to go to Mars and to be able to live in Mars, it couldn't happen, it could happen. But given the rate of technology in our lifetimes is very, very unlikely. And yet this guy came out and said, oh, we're definitely gonna do it. And I was like, all right, maybe he knows something I don't know. Now the jury's starting to come in that he don't know anything that we don't know, okay? And has SpaceX gone to Mars yet? Of course not, they're not even close. They're not even close. And then he says weird, nonsensical things like, oh, climate change is really bad on the planet, so we're gonna need to go to Mars. Have you seen Mars's climate? I mean, that's the most absurd thing in the world. I mean, if we had an absolute epic debacle here on planet Earth, thanks to his right-wing buddies driving climate change, we'd get to a situation where our climate is like Mars.
No, he plans to bring Teslas to Mars to get rid of the carbon emissions from their 500-degree temperatures and then very cold temperatures as well.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd. So when he says, hey, I'm gonna put these chips in your head because I'm worried that AI is gonna take over and I'm gonna have a robot run by AI do it, that doesn't make any sense at all. If you're worried about artificial intelligence, you certainly wouldn't have a robot implanting chips in people's heads. It's like, it's Orwellian. He's telling you the exact opposite of things that are true. But at least when it comes to the right wing, they'll believe anything. So as long as they think you're a right winger. So they're like, you know what, Fauci, man, he was trying to put those microchips in our head, in our blood through the vaccines. I'm not gonna let him track us like that. Instead, I'm gonna let Elon Musk put chips in my head. That'll let us track it easier.
Yeah.
Listen. Can we just start at the basis? Elon Musk is not very smart, right? Your dad had money. You got that money, you were able to use it, and you tricked investors. First of all, he's been lying for what, 27, 30 years about having a degree in science. It's been found out that he was lying and investors paid for that fake degree. He does not have a degree in physics or any type of science for that matter. Let alone the ability to know what should be and shouldn't be attached to my brain. Like, talk about the epitome of what a God complex is. It's Elon Musk. This is a person that the world credits for Tesla. And you're right, Cenk, Tesla is an important company, the technology to getting us closer to a greener world. But it's not his technology, right? He was just money, and he pushed out Martin, and then he eventually pushed out Mark. So the two creators of Tesla was not Elon Musk. He just came in early with funds so that these brothers could produce the cars that they wanted or that they dreamed up. And I think, Tesla has its problems now since those brothers are gone, just like Twitter has its problems now that Elon Musk is at the helm. He is a horrible business person with a lot of money, just like Donald Trump. I don't see any genius in him. I'm afraid of him. And the idea that people are literally contemplating Elon Musk putting his musky hands somewhere near their brains is absolutely crazy to me. And beyond that, he again is talking about how soon or how close we are to being in this process, and yet it's not been approved by FDA, which tells us that you're years away because there's nothing happening in 6 months from start to ending with the FDA and the United States government in general.
Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna end this idea entirely in a minute. So you're gonna look forward to that. I'm gonna end it not by fiat, but by getting you guys to agree with me, even if you're right wingers, even if you love Elon Musk. But first, I wanna clarify a couple of things. So Mondale's right, Elon Musk's dad had emerald mines. And then he went to Silicon Valley where everybody was getting rich, right? And so he had the right amount of money at the right place at the right time. And then everybody declared him a genius. But if you started out with emerald mines and then you went with a bag of cash to Silicon Valley when he did, you probably would have gotten super rich too, right? So just understand that context.
I would have probably stayed in emerald mines and just like swum around in it like Scrooge McDuck, but a lot of people could have made money from it for sure.
Well, I mean, Glebe, he was swimming around like Scrooge McDuck. He was walking around the city of New York with emeralds in his pockets, like an idiot.
Yeah. And then you guys made a great point there, and as you were talking about how Mondale, you were talking about how he didn't create Tesla. In fact, he pushed out the creators of Tesla when he took it over. Ironically, kind of pulled an Edison on the creators of Tesla. What Edison did to Tesla, Elon Musk did to the actual founders of Tesla. I mean, it's such a deep, rich irony there.
So he didn't even that idea wasn't original. He just straight up copied the way he pushed them out, which is pretty amazing. And as far as SpaceX, like Cenk said, he's not delivering on his promises to bring us to Mars. He just has a false sense of security just because SpaceX happens to be doing a better job than government-funded space programs. But that's also a very low bar these days.
Yeah, and so last two things for me is, look, to Ben's point, if he says, oh yeah, I'll eventually do it too. I would say to him the same thing I would say to a guy trying to convince you to do a suicide bombing. You first.
Yeah.
Okay, you first, and then I'll see if I follow, okay? But the guy who's always trying to get you to do a suicide bombing, he never puts on the belt himself.
Yeah, that's the way you get people to do stuff publicly, right? When the vaccine rolled out, you had all the politicians rolling their sleeve up and getting vaccinated, except the coward Donald Trump doing it on TV. All the rest did it live on TV. So get that Neuralink right in your head, Elon.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help you figure out how to take hate mongers and spreaders of bigotry off of the website that had already gotten rid of them, that you're bringing back.
Okay, so
and he should do it like he should create a Twitter space and just do it right there. It'd be the first video in Twitter space. Let's do it.
Genius.
I'll watch.
Okay.
I would pay $8 a month for 1 year to see Elon Musk get an implant in his head live. 100%.
I like how I said genius and then pointed in the wrong direction. Okay, so all right. So how am I going to kill the idea, guys? If you do this, and it's true, assume these guys are knuckleheads. They don't know Elon Musk is a genius. This thing's going to work. So assume that. Okay. What it does is it takes your thoughts and it records them on a computer. You want all your thoughts recorded on a computer, guys? All right, right-wing males, go ahead. Go ahead. I'd love to see what your thoughts are. I'd love to see them.
And I will say, I mean, that is a very strong, very scary point, and that they would have to ban their own brains from libraries. I'll tell you that much. We'll make it to that in a minute. But the technology, the potential of that technology is incredible. I mean, it can lead to people who do not have control of their limbs going back. I've literally seen it done. A brain surgeon friend of mine from college invited me into a patient's room who had electrodes many years ago, like 15 years ago, in the back of his head. You could control a computer mouse with his mind. That is next level amazing stuff for those who need it, for paralysis, for blindness, to get your sight back. Elon Musk should not run it.
Yeah, and so guys, separate the technology out from the guy who's pushing it and pushing it way too early. He's not going to get the FDA approval unless Trump wins.
Right.
I mean, like there's dead monkeys all over the floor.
That's a great way to say it. Yeah, right. 15 of the 23 monkeys were euthanized in this program, so that's a good ratio if you're looking to gamble with your life. But it's kind of like what you're saying. Don't throw the technology out with the founder. It's kind of like weed. Weed's fantastic, but your dealer usually is a real pain, and you don't want to hang out with him, nor do you trust him. Grow your own.
Okay, don't grow your own Neuralink.
Don't grow your own Neuralink, strong point. The analogy broke up at the end there.
But guys, even when the right people are doing it with all of the precautions and all the rules and laws in place to protect everyone, we still have to be careful. It's an important and amazing technology, but yes, and eventually, it can record your thoughts, and that is a dangerous place to be. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.